Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea. The Real Housewives of Miami have never been strangers to chaos. Drama practically flows through their veins, but this time, things have taken a darker, more personal turn. The feud between Adriana de Moura and Marisol Patton has gone beyond playful shade or clever confessionals. It feels real, raw, and deeply painful. What started as a few sharp words has turned into an emotional war, spilling across social media, blurring the lines between reality TV and real life. It all began during the season 7 finale, when Adriana made a remark that instantly set off alarms among the cast and fans alike. The dinner table went silent, eyes widened, and tension thickened in the Miami air. Adriana had looked directly at Marisol and made a comment about age. Something so cutting, it immediately shifted the energy in the room. Housewives are no strangers to insults, but this one wasn't wrapped in playful banter. It felt cruel, especially considering Adriana's own experiences with aging and insecurities. Fans immediately called Adriana out online. Many accused her of crossing a line, calling the remark mean-spirited and hypocritical. But Adriana didn't back down. She claimed she was simply responding to Marisol's constant digs and underhanded comments that had been building up for months. In her mind, she wasn't being cruel. She was defending herself from someone who had been pushing her buttons for too long. Marisol, however, saw it very differently. For her, the insult wasn't just another shady comment. It was a betrayal, one that came from someone she once considered a close friend. During a rare emotional confession, Marisol admitted that Adriana's words actually made her cry. Housewives often shed tears on camera, but this time it wasn't out of anger or showmanship. It was about something deeper: identity, insecurity, and friendship. Adriana's words had cut straight to her core, and no amount of Bravo-style glam could cover that wound. But instead of cooling down, things got worse. Adriana doubled down, suggesting that Marisol had been scheming behind the scenes to ice her out of the group. She claimed Marisol was deliberately excluding her from filming opportunities and private gatherings to weaken her position on the show. Then Adriana reignited an old rumor, one that alleged Marisol once hired a private investigator to spy on Dr. Nicole Martin back in season 6. Adriana hinted that Marisol might have done the same thing to her. The accusation was explosive, but there was one big problem: Adriana had no proof. Still, she stood by her suspicions, confident that Marisol's polished image hid a darker, more manipulative side. Then came what fans now call the ratchet versus wretched disaster, a moment that only fueled the flames. During a heated conversation, Adriana referred to Keke Barth as ratchet, which immediately set social media ablaze. Fans accused her of being mean and classist, and Keke herself was visibly hurt. Adriana quickly tried to clarify that it was all a misunderstanding. According to her, Marisol had told her to call Keke wretched, not ratchet, and that the slip of the tongue had blown up into something way bigger than intended. Adriana insisted that Marisol had set her up, intentionally giving her bad advice to make her look foolish on camera. What she thought was friendly banter, she now believed was a calculated trap. And just as the situation started spiraling, newcomer Stephanie decided to jump into the mix, and she didn't come quietly. Rather than staying neutral, Stephanie sided with Adriana and accused Marisol of being manipulative, cold, and power-hungry. She claimed Marisol knew exactly how to twist situations to her advantage, and that the entire ratchet incident was just another example of her cruelty. Stephanie went as far as to call Marisol an expert in emotional manipulation, someone who smiled in your face but played dirty behind closed doors. Marisol, on the other hand, brushed off the claims. She admitted that giving Adriana advice might have been selfish, but she denied setting her up. According to her, Adriana's downfall was her own doing, a reflection of her insecurities, not Marisol's supposed scheming. But that cold response only made fans side more with Adriana. Many felt Marisol's denial sounded calculated and heartless, further feeding the narrative that she was the show's hidden villain. As the tension built, the drama spilled onto Instagram, where housewives' fights go to either die or explode. Adriana started posting cryptic captions and stories, throwing subtle but sharp shade at Marisol. Then she went for the jugular, calling Marisol a master of deception who lies, cheats, and plays victim while pretending to be innocent. She even claimed Marisol operates in the darkness of her own soul, spreading poison while maintaining a squeaky clean image. Those were fighting words, and fans were living for it. Every post became a mini-episode, with followers dissecting every emoji, caption, and like. Marisol, in turn, denied everything, claiming she barely spoke to Adriana anymore and had no interest in engaging in childish social media games. But then, Stephanie reignited the fire once again, this time accusing Marisol of manipulating her best friend, Alexia Echeverria. That allegation hit hard. In the housewives world, friendship loyalty is everything, and the idea that Marisol was controlling Alexia from the shadows only added gasoline to an already raging fire. And just like that, Miami's glam turned into a battlefield. After Stephanie's accusations hit social media, the Real Housewives of Miami fanbase erupted. What was once a private disagreement had now evolved into a full-on caste divide. Lines were drawn, alliances were tested, and the once glamorous Miami clique turned into a war zone of confessionals, captions, and shade. Alexia Echeverria, who had always stood firmly beside Marisol, didn't hesitate to defend her. She dismissed Adriana's claims as jealousy dressed up as victimhood. In her eyes, Adriana wasn't the target, she was the problem. Alexia went on to say that Adriana only supported Marisol when it suited her, but the moment Marisol got attention or praise, Adriana turned bitter and combative. Those words hit hard because they weren't just defending Marisol, they were attacking Adriana's entire character. Meanwhile, Larsa Pippen and Lisa Hochstein quietly sided with Marisol as well, reinforcing her version of events. Larsa even commented during a confessional that Adriana thrives on chaos and that her dramatic flair was her only storyline left. It was harsh, but it echoed a sentiment that had been circulating among fans, that Adriana's confrontations were less about truth and more about staying relevant on camera. Still, not everyone agreed. Stephanie doubled down on her defense of Adriana, calling the other women fake and selectively loyal. She claimed that Adriana was being isolated and gaslighted, just like many housewives before her who had dared to challenge the social hierarchy. "It's the Miami circle," Stephanie said in one heated scene. "They protect their image more than their friendships." That statement resonated deeply with viewers, sparking countless debates online about authenticity, loyalty, and the cost of reality TV fame. By this point, what had started as a petty argument had evolved into something far more complex, a battle of perception. Was Adriana really a victim of manipulation, or was she the one manipulating sympathy for herself? And was Marisol the cold-hearted mastermind some fans painted her to be, or simply a woman tired of defending herself against endless accusations? The tension was so thick that even Bravo executives reportedly stepped in to mediate before filming resumed for the new season. Producers wanted drama, yes, but not complete destruction. However, the women's animosity had gone too far to resolve easily. Every new event, every party, every dinner, every trip turned into an emotional minefield waiting to explode. Then came the reunion taping. And if fans thought the drama on the show was intense, the reunion took it to another level. Andy Cohen, visibly exasperated at times, tried to maintain order as accusations flew like confetti. Adriana stood her ground, insisting that Marisol had manipulated both her and the narrative for years. She recounted the ratchet versus wretched moment again, claiming it was the perfect example of how Marisol played innocent while setting traps for others to fall into. Marisol, keeping her composure, clapped back with a smirk. "If I were as powerful as Adriana thinks," she said, "I'd be running Bravo by now." The audience laughed, but Adriana didn't. Her expression told the story of someone who had been holding resentment for a long time. When Andy asked Marisol directly if she had ever hired a private investigator, the rumor that reignited much of this chaos, she flat out denied it, calling it the most ridiculous thing she's ever heard. But Adriana refused to let it go. "You've always been two-faced," she said. "You smile for the cameras and stab your friends in the back when the lights go off." The room fell silent. Even the usually unshakable Alexia looked uneasy. For a moment, it wasn't reality TV. It was heartbreak caught on camera. What made this feud different from the usual Housewives drama was its authenticity. There were no obvious producers pushing storylines, no silly misunderstandings to laugh off. It was real emotion, real betrayal, and real pain. Adriana felt alienated, and Marisol felt attacked. Both women believed they were the victim, and neither was willing to back down.